Welcome back to episode 3 of What's a Sitch podcast with me, Lo.
And moi, Kid.
So, Ken, tell me, what is this week's read?
Okay, so I finished Lauren Asher. I moved on to, so is it Somme Sketcher? Is that how you say it? Or how do you say her name? Is it Somme Sketcher or Summer?
I think it's like Somme.
Okay, so I moved on to
I had
her.
to translate it and I still...
Oh, so, and I'm reading the East Coast Devils series right now. I'm in book 2, and we were actually just talking. So I literally was late to this podcast because I was like, I need to finish one more chapter of the book 2. So I am devouring it. So I stayed up till 3 a.m. reading the first book last night. So,
yeah, so I'd like to does it for me on.
Well, so the first book I had my reservations about because I don't know. It was a little Stockholm syndrome-y. That was what I didn't like about it. So if I had to choose like what I didn't like about it, that would be that. But I will say it got better towards the end. And like
you just gotta push through.
Yeah, I actually really liked it, and I totally called that Anton. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce some of her names. I totally called him.
Yeah. Spoiler
portraying
alert.
Him. Oh well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Oh yeah, 100%. I got you. As soon as he didn't let him interrogate the one guy, I can't think of his name right now, I was like, something's off.
Yeah. And so I knew he wasn't actually going to sell her and all of that. Spoiler alert. But yeah. So I devoured that last night at like 3 a.m. and I'm 60% through the second book. So probably by this time next week, when we record next week's podcast, I will probably be done with all of her books. But I don't know what
they're so easy.
Yeah, they're easy
to
reads.
Easy
like
to binge.
Like they're heavy topics, but they're easy to like get through.
Yeah, but it's not like she's writing at like a 3rd grade level either. Like it's just she sucks you in. It's like a good movie.
Yes,
like how the plot gets you.
Yes, and I like how she writes.
Like you were wanting to.
Yeah, and like at least these like two female characters. What?
I would say, like, you want to figure out what's going on with this female character, right?
Yes, and I will say, like, I like how both of the female characters, like, I'm all for, like, the sunshine grumpy, like, and the female characters are funny. Like, I've laughed in her books, and oftentimes I feel like it's hard for authors to write, like, funny people, if that makes sense, without it coming across, like, cheesy. Like, just the wit and stuff like that. So it's what I'm liking. I think after this, I'm going to go and finally read Elsie Silver. But if I'm going to read her, you have to read the Twisted series.
I know. We talked about this last week, and
we talk about it every week.
Chickened out. I didn't necessarily chicken out. I know. So yes, I'll finish my series that I'll talk about with the one I'm reading and start Twisted, and you can finish Somme Sketcher, and then you can go light while I go heavy.
Yes, well, I hate the Twisted series isn't even like that heavy. It's just like it's like the perfect amount of just like morally gray and fluff, but I like you'll understand once you read it. My 16-year-olds are reading it, and my students are reading it, and I'm like, I need to talk to an adult about this so I can like justify. Sorry.
Like
I've resorted to talking
into another series. It just happened.
I know, but I've resorted to talking to 16-year-olds about my books because you won't read them.
I will read them. It's just, like how basically you pushed off Lauren Asher for what, a year?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
It's
that's
just,
me.
but
For some stuff for a
like
year.
I've honestly even considered like starting, like being, like seeing who's the sponsor of the book club and seeing if I can like co-sponsor it. But then again, I'm like, I don't think I can like recommend some of these books to my teenagers.
They're gonna not.
They're gonna
They're gonna
ban
be
me
like,
from the
we can't
school.
talk about this with you here. I wish there was an easy way to find like an adult book club, but
I don't know,
not
like
the case.
how I read, like I'm a binge reader, so like I just don't think I could do a book club.
Yeah.
Because even like this, like our book of the week, I read
don't-
multiple books in a week. It's more so author of the week.
I know. Pretty much author of the week. Whose whole library did you read? Well, like I want a book club where I can just like go basically what we do, just with more people. What's your
Yes.
book of the week? What's your book of the week? Versus like, hey, we're gonna read this book together and it's gonna take us 2 months. I'm gonna be like, I'm bored by then. A little bit of our ADHD coming out.
Well, yeah, that's what like our mother has been reading like she reads book, like she takes her a year to read a book, and she's been reading a book that I have been wanting her to read, and it's her Brene Brown book, and I'm just like, read it. Like it's like it's the Dare to Lead one, so it's not that big. I'm like, get it done. And she was like, well, I just can't just sit around and read books all day. And I'm like, you can. Like, I was like, you can. But I'm just like, and I like that she's reading Brene Brown because I'm just like, I need someone to obsess with Brene Brown with. Like, someone needs to have as big of a girl crush on Brene Brown as I have. Like, and it's just like, I am like, and I say this with every single like author, but I have a girl crush on all the authors. But and I don't know how I got from. I know. I don't know how I got from dark and twisty Somme Sketcher to like Dare to Lead Brene Brown, but I did it. The range.
Yeah, the range of the books. Yeah, you read a little more self-help books than I do. Like nothing bad about it. I read to escape, and you read to get better.
Oh, and then
it is what it is.
So with me, I read like 3 or 4 books at a time because I'm a maniac and I'm manic. But I am also reading Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom Died. And that's what I read today when I sat outside. I know. So it was 70 degrees in Indiana and sunny. Like, it was perfect weather. I sat outside in a rocking chair and just read for like 2 hours straight. And it was glorious. Like, the amount of serotonin.
So that's where all your...
Yeah. Like, the vitamin D was just like soaking me. I was like literally bathing in vitamin D. I loved it. Like, I felt the depression leave my body.
You were like, seasonal depression, be gone.
Yes. So, what are you reading? Because I'm curious about this
right
series.
Now I'm reading... Yes. So, I am reading... It's a new author to me. It's the Plays and Penalties book series by Maggie Rawdon. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's new to me. Don't know how I found it. I think it was probably one of those like Kindle Unlimited. Oh, you should read this because all I read is sports romance. So it is a football series. Doesn't have a lot of football in it. It's more college age romance where they're just football players, which is okay. I don't mind the sports because I am a sports lover, but I would definitely consider it more like a college romance versus a sports romance. But
so it's kind of like
so I have finished.
Oh, go ahead. I was like, so it's kind of like off-campus vibes.
I said, yeah, off-campus vibes in a way. I have finished 3 of her series books within the week. So
Love it.
just doing awesome.
Love it.
Only reason why I haven't finished 4 of them is because the 4th book doesn't come out until tomorrow. So if we do this tomorrow, I would probably have 4 books read. So they're easy.
How many pages?
They've been shorter. I want to say the one was like 260. It's like in that mid 200 range. So like pretty short compared to like my Becka Mack and
I was gonna say like that that range used to be my favorite, and then Becka Mack came along and she entered my life and she brought me into a whole new world of writing. And if it's anything less than 500 pages, I'm just like, I don't know the characters. I don't know how they walk to the kitchen. Like I don't know every last detail of their outfit.
I need to know everything about them. Obsessed over them. Carter Beckett has me by the neck. But so they're good. They're very quick, easy reads, a little cheesy. But nothing like I don't like think cheese is bad. Like they're very light reads for the most part. Yeah. I will say
sometimes you need cheese.
Yeah. She writes the characters very, like, age maturity wise well. Like, they act like a bunch of 20-year-olds. Like, like, they don't have good communication skills. And it's like, oh, you just want to, like, wring their neck, but then you're like, oh, they're 20-year-old. Like, she writes that part of them very well.
Gotcha.
Like, the whole first book is basically like, like the first book is pretty much a let me talk about my book, not your pain.
Sorry.
Like the first book is like I don't want to say enemies to lover, but like kind of that's the vibe it gives. But like he's liked her from the beginning, but they had a miscommunication like when they met and she like hated him. And so like it's like okay, that's silly little things like that college age that makes sense, but they're very good, very quick and easy reads.
It reminds me are always great. Of how you're describing it. I could be wrong. It reminds me of Michaela Smelter's books. That series that I read. Remember, I would text you like I hate the series, but I'm reading it.
Oh yes,
like those series. Like so, her books. It was like. It was so cheesy and they're quick reads, but it was like also like I couldn't put it down. But like there was bits and pieces that I loved about it, so it like made up for like the shitty parts. Yeah. And like that hockey player that's a nerd literally picked up a book that he owned and told her to flip to a specific page and read it out loud, and he performed what that page was describing. And I'm like, first off, sir, how did you memorize that page? But I was just like, it was every like smut readers. It was every smut reader's dream, and I'm just like, I need that scene to happen.
Yes. In real life, like let's recreate this scene from that scene. Yeah. So that's my read of the week. We'll probably go to Twisted series next. And then I have a couple other series planned that I want to read. So that's the plan. That might change, but
it always
there's
changes.
Also a small town romance series.
I plan to read books and then all of a sudden but I also feel like that's where you find the best like series is when it just like pops up. It just like hits you and you're like, where'd this come from? Like, so I'm like, honestly, like I plan, but it's like best just to let it happen.
Yeah, literally Becka Mack. Like,
I want to know, we need to keep a count of how many times we literally rave about Becka Mack each podcast, because we've talked about her every single podcast so far. Like, Becka Mack lives rent-free in my brain.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, we can make it a drinking game, but everyone would have to go to the hospital after.
Yeah.
Like, take a shot of water every time we say the name Becka Mack. You'll be hydrated as all get out.
Yes.
So, any more to add on our books?
No. I've binged read. I've lost so many hours of sleep this week, and I'm not even ashamed. I've read 4 books this week, and it's Wednesday.
That's the good week. It's Wednesday. Hey, that's when you know you were in a good series, when you can't go to sleep.
Well, it was Jax's books,
So-
Santiago's books, and then these 2 books.
Oh, I know. When you text me that about Jax's book, I was like, girl, I told you. I told you.
Sorry, I'm checking
Like,
to see if
so
I
good. The
don't lose
angst
myself.
and the
So Santi's book, is it Santiago or Santiago? I don't know, but that's my favorite, hands down.
Santi.
So it was
Same,
Santi.
100%. I think
So
that still is my, yeah, I think that's still my favorite book of hers. Like, total. I think that's my favorite.
I think so. I agree too. So my order for Dirty Air is Santi, Liam, Jax, Noah. And I don't know why. See, I don't know why. It's so weird because I don't know why Liam just like he snuck his way up there because you said his book was your least favorite, but I loved it. I ate it up. I read it in a day.
You know what's funny about Noah being your 4th favorite? Do you know who the fan cast for Noah is?
As Charles, yes. So I love
Charles is your favorite driver.
I know. I don't know. I'm kind of glad we got into this because it's a great segue into their sports talk. But I don't know why I think it's because it was her very first, like her first book, and it's not like she just improved as an author. But because like how she writes Maya and Noah, like in the other books, I love. It was just their book was just like. It wasn't awful. It just like didn't just like grab me by the neck. And if you're gonna fan cast Charles to be the person, it needs to grab me by the neck.
Yeah, it felt very young adult-esque.
Yeah,
like it was almost like it was meant for a different like age range, and then the other books got a little more heavier and older and. Like the angst, just I'm a lover of a good angst book. So,
same. I honestly think too. Like, I don't know the span of the years that she wrote the books. I'd be curious, and I'd also be curious to know her age because the video that I saw of her, she's fucking gorgeous, by the way, and so cute. She literally is that TikTok. She literally reminds me of Zara. Like, that's who I thought like pictured Zara, but like she looks younger, so I wonder if maybe she's just like as she's matured, her books have matured too. Because if you read like Noah, like because I've read both series like together, so like reading like Noah's book, then to like the fine print where she's talking about an alcoholic and all of that, like it is night and day, literally.
Yes. And so I could definitely see that. I don't know, like, obviously much about her. I mean, I think she, like, with doing the book signings, it's some of the first times that, like, I've actually seen her. So,
she's so cute.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but that would make sense.
You're living my, like, if I ever wanted to be an author, she's living my, author dreams.
Right? Like, just, so good, and her books are so much fun. We love that for her. So, moving on to real life Formula One, Bahrain.
I haven't
the Grand Prix.
The Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go.
The Grand
Prix. So I don't have our schedule pulled up because I was like, I think I just do better winging it. So I don't know what sports we have written down, but I know we were going to talk about F1 because it has literally consumed me, and I haven't even tried like all my social media. Is Formula One. And while that reminds me, while we're talking about it, I'm joining another fantasy league. How many fantasy leagues? Yes. How many fantasy leagues I'm gonna like join?
Why not? Yes. Well, okay. Let's just take a moment and say we are joining a fantasy league of like the owner of Aston Martin's Formula One team's future son-in-law and Daniel Ricciardo's best friend. Like, he's the same person, but like
you wouldn't know.
we deserve to be in that league. You would not know. Like, if you did not, granted, I would have never thought that his fiance is Lawrence Stroll's daughter. Like, I just would have never put two and two together if I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Who just also happens to be a Red Bull athlete himself. Like, he's sponsored by Red Bull in snowboarding.
Yeah. Yeah, which, like, the
How many
weird
different
little ties like that.
Formula One.
Yes, like, it's just like, you might as well be an F1 driver at this point.
Just let him in the car.
Gosh.
But yes, Formula One Fantasy is under the way. We have joined at least two leagues, and then our own.
Yes, sorry, I'm joining. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same team. So
that's what I did.
Should we talk about our teams? Whoa. Yes, we have the same thought. Okay, so
same thoughts.
I think this is going to probably shock you, but I don't ask me how I came up with my team, because honestly, it was willy-nilly.
Mine's a little bit of chaotic, but I love it.
Yeah. So I obviously have...
Who's your number one driver?
I obviously have Charles, because it's Charles.
Yes.
And then I have Carlos. I stuck with my Ferraris. Then I have Alonso. I have...
Same.
I'm just... I can't it was so annoyed, because I think Aston Martin's actually going to be pretty decent this year, or at least I'm hoping. And between him and the two broken wrists, I chose him. But I'm just like, he's literally a fucking skeleton. Like, he's going to die before he retires.
He's going to do good, and that's what I hate.
Yes, but whatever. And then I have George Russell. Just a stand-up lad.
Same.
And then I have Nick DeVries. What? Oh, I thought you said same. I was like, well, that's weird. Like, weird. So then my two constructors, I have Aston Martin and Ferrari.
Same. How much cost cap do you have left?
Oh, I have 0.9 million. So I did it to where I was like, I'm going to spend all my money.
Oh, girl, you ain't got nothing on me. I'm a manager of all managers. You want to know what my cap left is?
Is it 0.1?
0.2 million.
Oh, no, 0.2. Well, in my head, I'm like, that 0.9 can go. If this is real money, I would donate that 0.9 million to Haas to get them more seats on the hill.
Let's just have them all. Thank you. So I have the same constructors as you. I have Aston Martin and Ferrari. It's such a good bang for our buck on Aston Martin, I believe. My number one driver, Max Verstappen. He just gets you the point.
See, okay, but see, this is where we're different, because I will not sacrifice my beliefs for competitiveness, and everything we stand for, Lauren, goes out the window whenever you're faced with a competition.
You sacrifice. Are we not going to talk about sacrificing a little bit for that second Ferrari driver?
Yeah, that's true. And Alonso, but still. It's just easier to shit on Verstappen.
It's a little problematic. I think somebody needs to inform your second Ferrari driver that Spaniards are not Latino. Just saying. Anyways, Esteban Ocon. So, if good thing it's not a real team because those two ain't getting along.
Nope.
And then I have Russell and Alonso, and then I have Valtteri Bottas. Got to go with my Finn, baby.
I almost did it just for the respect of the Finns, but I couldn't fit it in my budget.
Gotta have Fins.
We need the Finn representation.
Yeah, because you went more expensive. I had all. Yeah. So of my 5 drivers, I do not have any repeat teams. So
that's smart. We both boycotted McLaren.
And then we did our own. God. Oh my gosh. Did you see news coming out of McLaren? Either they are sandbagging the media to make it seem like they're going to be great, or they're really in trouble.
I probably think it's probably going to be just kind of in between that. Probably in the medium. But also I think they because in the years past it's always been the top 3 Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, for the most part, and then it was always been McLaren. I think McLaren's gonna be knocked down to the 6th or 7th spot.
I think so. I think they're gonna be as bad as what they were with the Honda engine era. It's just not looking great. It's not.
And I can't help but smile.
Sucks to suck.
Karma is my boyfriend.
I hope that's what Danny Rick is just jamming to.
I would love to see him get a chance to race this year. And then just on the radio just start singing Karma by Taylor Swift. That's all I need.
Well, he would. Can we talk about what an absolute shame it is that Danny Rick doesn't get to drive in Vegas? I need someone that are doing marketing for the.
I was I need
I need him there. I know he's going to be there
to take one for the team.
Yes.
Just take a day off. A little sit out.
Enjoy the casinos a little bit too much.
Did you see their promo today with Charles?
Is I was gonna say, the people who are doing the promotions for Formula One, Vegas, is just hating their life because they were this could have been so easy, and now look.
Yeah. I know Charles was they told me everyone was supposed to do it.
Promo. Yes. With him in the Elvis get up, no thoughts in that brain.
I love it because I'm honestly, if someone were to have to dump my brain out, it'd be the same. I think that's why I'm I sympathize.
That's why you guys.
Besides skincare, there's nothing.
So, yes, nothing at all. But yeah, so first race of the year at Bahrain International Circuit. So will be interesting to see which teams take a step back, and see if we can get Sir Lewis Hamilton his record-setting 8th World Championship. I want to talk about Susie Wolff getting announced as the managing director of F1 Academy All-Female Driver Series. I love this move. Yes.
When I saw it, I'm just I had so much pride in my heart. And I'm I don't know you. You'll never know me, but I'm proud of you, girlfriend.
Right? If there's a better person for that, I don't know who. She deserves it. And I I was reading some comments and everyone was like, isn't this a little bit like of a nepotism? And people are like, don't you realize that like Susie was involved with F1 prior to meeting Toto? Like she was an F1 driver. I mean, granted, a reserve driver, but like she drove F1 cars prior to marrying her husband. And like, I love to see her get to do her own thing in a world that she can still, like, obviously be a part of her family, but like get to kind of take on this new project. And what a better woman to do it. Like, she has the experience, the connections, like, definitely. Like, F1 doesn't do a lot of things right sometimes. They did this right.
I agree. And yes, the whole like Nepo thing like really like annoys me because I'm just like, if anything, like Nepo to Toto.
Right? Like, she was here first. But no, like we love.
I think it's such a good move.
Susie.
Yes, and I think it's such a good move. And in her like career trajectory, like it makes sense. Also, I think too, like it's like such good representation. I think she's gonna make a lot of strides for like females in this male dominated sport. And I can't wait to watch her thrive. I really can't.
Yeah. I'm here for it. Good job. Like, let's go.
A+.
Queen Susie. A+. Like, I'm not going to root for any driver. I'm just rooting for Susie Wolff.
Yes.
So NHL trade deadline is this Friday, I think at 3 p.m., I think is the time. It has been chaotic.
Like, but hey, Finns get the wins.
I saw Finns get more wins. So yet another name that I have no idea how to pronounce. He did an interview that the Canes acquired. Yessi. It's not Jesse. It's Yessi. Puljuvari? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. I can't. My American tongue is not letting me pronounce that Finnish name. Yessi, who, like, basically the Finns just went and said, or the Canes just said, you're a Finn, you need a new start, come and join us, and you can play with your buddy Aho.
I cannot wait to see what he adds to the team.
Yeah, Finns will get more wins. It's all they need.
I know. I
swear
they are trying to have a full team of Finns.
Right? Like, just, like, they're like, hey, we're just going to be the Finnish Olympic team over here.
Yes.
But it's also, like, they love their Finns, but they also love their American defensemen. Like, weird, but 5 of their 6, well, now, so they traded for, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. His nickname is Ghost Bear. Shane Gostibie.
Oh, okay. I saw that on Twitter.
Can't pronounce it. Anyways, yes, yeah. Who's another American-born defenseman that brings up their total to 5 of their starting 6 as American-born. They have a type. Finnish forwards and American defensemen.
Hey, if it works, keep on doing it.
Whatever works. Whatever goes for you. So, super excited to see. I think they still have space to make another move. We'll see if they do. It's been chaotic, the amount of not only trades, but like big name trades have been going on. So, we'll see what happens Friday. If there's anybody getting moved out. Very busy. So, we will see how that goes. So, we look forward to all the newbies and learning how to pronounce some really hard names.
I don't know what's next. I don't have my sheet pulled up.
Spring training started back up. As a Reds fan, that is not the best news because it means another season of
Disappointment.
cutting cost disappointments. But yes, so spring training, which means spring's around opening day, even though we do love a good opening day in Cincinnati. We will see how disappointing
I do want to go to opening day, like, just experience, because, like, I feel like Cincinnati does opening day well. I just do not have any team spirit right now. And I used to be a cheerleader. I'm all for team spirit, but the Reds are on my shit list. Respectfully.
Their owners are on my shit list.
Yeah.
Like, how can the Castellinis sit there and look across the way and see how much the Brown family and, the Brown grandchildren have done and how much money they've brought in because, like, they're winning and people like that and they just can't put in their mind, like, hey, maybe we should do that.
Yeah. My little book reader self, every time I hear the Castellini, I'm just like, it's the Italian mafia. They're the mob, that's why. I guess in my head, I just have the big bag Italian mob.
The Italian mob would actually probably field a good team.
That's true. But wouldn't that be such a good book? Like, just a whole genre of just, like, the mob. It's like our two best of both worlds for us. Like, the mob running a sport team.
Book idea to write. So, it's going to be the next.
That's like, I have all these book ideas.
I mean,
I have all these book ideas. I'm just looking for someone to write them. But, like, seriously, and then, like, you could have to where, like, it's their front to be, like, good again, even though, like, behind the scenes, they're just, like, all morally gray and corrupt. And, like, the mob, like, the middle son or something is, like, a football player or something. That's why they own the team. Like, I can see it.
Yep. Hey, the next big step, I guess, is what's going to be. So we're moving into a crossover world. So, and then we also have the Bengals director of player personnel basically said, T's not going anywhere. Stop the rumors. Get your own wide receiver. And we love that for T.
Yes. I hated always seeing, like, all, like, the rumors and stuff because I'm just like, I need him to stay with us. Right? And I think that, like, not that, like, he is, like, slept on, but I do think, like, he's a key player. Like, yeah, like, he is a key player, and I think sometimes people forget about that. But yes, I think that was the reassurance that I needed, because I'm not gonna lie, like, even though, like, he said it and everyone's been reassuring, but, like, those rumors, man, I'm like, no, little baby T, you stay here. You and that fine ass smile is staying in Cincinnati. Well, like, I don't care if you like it or not.
Like, he's there. Suck it up. So that's all I have for sports this week. Anything else you want to add?
Nope. So what is next?
Moving on. Your favorite TikTok trend.
So I haven't really been on TikTok very much this week, but I will say...
Oh, I have.
I know, I've been sent a lot, but I've been reading. Honestly, my favorite, it's not necessarily a trend, but my favorite TikTok was of another F1 podcast. Not that we're an F1 podcast, but like this is an F1 like solely. What is it? It's the two guys.
Yeah.
What is it called? You know what I'm talking about?
There's a lot that are just two guys.
Yeah, basically.
The red flag
but
one?
you know, yes. But when they were mimicking Toto because Toto tweeted, I gotta find it. Tweeted that and
the
they were mimicking.
Survive. I have it.
Yes.
That whole scene has now made it onto a TikTok sound, and it is so funny. You could fix your car.
No, I'm not talking about that one, but that is funny. I'm not talking about that one. Hang on, I gotta find it. But that one, that was hilarious. But I'm just like, how is this not scripted? But I'm like, I don't know. Maybe like I can see it not being scripted, just how funny it is. But hang on. I know I should become. I knew I wanted to talk about this. I don't know why I should have been better prepared. But
why aren't you?
And of course, I sent you thousands
a very good co-host today.
I know. Of course, yeah. This Red Flags podcast. I seen thousands of TikToks of the Twisted series that I had to go through. Hang on, it's loading. My Wi-Fi sucks. I sent it to you, and oh my god, I cackled. Come on.
I cackled on a TikTok yesterday. I literally thought I was going to wake my neighbors. I was laughing so hard at one of them.
Okay, I resent it to you so you could pull it up because you have better Wi-Fi than I do. Oh, it was so funny.
Watch this.
But yes, that sound, as soon as I saw that clip, I'm like, that's becoming a TikTok sound. I'm glad that it is.
Yes, I've been loving it. Okay, yeah, I can see why you like this one. Did you? Okay, so I sent you. Is that what you've been liking? It was just the Formula One TikToks.
Yeah, I would say I haven't really been on much, but what my feed is right now is all Formula One, which I am not complaining. Because we're going to the Grand Prix.
It's the Grand Prix! I never miss a Grand Prix! Literally me waking up at 9 a.m. to watch the Grand Prix! Like,
me staying up till 3 a.m. to watch Australia's Grand Prix.
Australia's Grand Prix. It was Daniel Ricciardo's home race. We had to watch the Grand Prix.
Grand Prix?
But then also just having it discreetly on Friday mornings in my office so I can watch the practices or qualifying if it's a sprint weekend.
Me literally watching on my phone while giving facials.
It's going to be me and March Madness coming up. Just having a little phone off to the side so I can have the game on. We'll sit there, get my work done. You can have a little sports. So I have two favorites of TikToks because I've been on TikTok a little bit more this week. One of them is Any and All Things Pedro Pascal. Have you seen Pedro Pascal TikToks? Are you on that yet?
I have. I've landed on that. Not recently because it's filled with F1, but I have before.
The one where I think he's doing the lie detector test and he's like, Daddy is a state of mind. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then like what they consider the Pedro Pascal edit, just chef's kisses there. And so that, have you seen the ones of the Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal where they're in the convertible and Nicolas Cage just like looks over him like dead stare and he's just smiling like,
I've sent some of those to you. I've sent some of those to you, I believe. Oh, I know my favorite TikTok trend. Actually, I changed my mind. My favorite TikTok trend is the one where it's like no one noticing X, Y, and Z, and then it's like my sister or my friend, Lightning McQueen!
Oh yes. I saw that today over the Yessie Yes-EP trade where it was like all Oilers media, like he didn't live up to the expectations, Canes fans because he's a Finn. Lightning McQueen! Like that. Yes, I do like that one.
I sent one to you and it was
that was
like
a good one.
no one caring that you're going, like you went through the hardest like part in your life. Then it's like, my sisters, Lightning McQueen. Yeah. I'm like, that was you and Alex like to me all last year.
Yeah! Honestly, though, like, what an underrated movie of Cars. Like, Lightning McQueen was probably where my Formula One interest started, and I just didn't get into it till later.
Yes.
We are Ferrari! Vroom! However, I sent you probably one of my... Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say the ones where it has those two, and it's like a side-by-side Mattia and Gunther. I'm like,
yes. So true. But I think I sent you my all-time favorite TikTok I saw last night. And is there a way I have to share my screen so I can share this with whoever's listening to this?
You should
hit share. It made me laugh so hard I almost peed myself.
If you hit, but I don't know since you're on your laptop. But
can you see this?
It's loading. Oh, I can see it. Yeah, he's so smart.
Okay, perfect. Okay, you just well, this guy's account is so funny, but this was the one that got me into this, like into his account, and just you have to watch it.
Okay.
Rebecca! No, I'm dead ass. He's not in there.
Is that not the best TikToks you've ever seen? Like the initial
Jesus
gasp.
joke.
Like, just you have to watch it again. It gets funnier the more times you watch it, especially on
dead ass.
With the gasp.
Rebecca! No, I'm dead ass. He's not in there.
And I'm like, this guy, dead ass, he's not in there. So he does like, I'm gonna just review his TikTok account, but like he does like these all like historical ones, like this one, like the first one in Salem.
Okay. Remember when I told you about Abby? It wasn't like all true, and like now she's actually in trouble with the town, and like I'm kind of panicking. Like they're saying she's like a witch and stuff, and like she's definitely like not, and like I don't want to say that like I was half kidding because like then I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble, and like oh, I don't know what to do. Am I a bad person?
Like he just does all of these like older ones. I can't find like there was one that was or that I've seen. Like some of these are so good. Like it was this one that another little like Bible joke that made me laugh so hard. That's it. That's all it is. Like, so you have to, like, if you want a good laugh, go check out Octopus Lover 8 Jake Shane's account because oh my gosh,
he definitely made up that name before he went viral.
Yes, like 100%. And like it's just been like some of the ones he has is like the president who didn't make Mount Rushmore, or the do Cinderella running late and realizing her Uber turned into a pumpkin. Like
so my favorite are U.S. history jokes. If you understand U.S. history, the amount of jokes that you can make, so funny.
Like, could you imagine if we had a like TikTok back when we took A Push? and like the amount of jokes that could have been made into our like lectures. Like,
I
it would
mean,
have been just
can you
perfect.
imagine the damage I could have done? Because you remember the YouTube video that I made for A Push.
Yes.
Can you
Is that
imagine
still out
that?
there?
I don't know. I hope not. But can you imagine if like we had the technology we had now, the amount of damage we could have done?
Oh, you guys would have been viral with your A Push.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and then like
I don't know if it's still out there, but I hope it's
I
not.
saved some like medical TikToks. Look, I saved some medical TikToks that I find funny to put at the end of some of my lectures.
Maybe I should start doing that with my
So
classes.
yeah, that's
because they keep hounding me about bell
Get 'em a
ringers.
little
So maybe
interested
my
in-
bell ringers should be TikToks, so like they'll maybe like care.
And you could do there's a TikTok account that does like some like world history too, but I'm sure you could find some
Well, I
like,
don't
funny
teach
business
history.
ones.
Okay, I was like, yeah,
I know, but like, you could find some business.
Which reminds me, I have a story to tell you after we get done with this.
Okay. So, well, anything else to add to your TikToks?
No, that was a very long-winded. I went from having not being like I haven't been on TikTok to having like 10 favorite TikToks. So
It happens.
you can
So,
tell I've had like
all right.
an extra dose of serotonin today because my ADHD is throughout the roof today.
'Cause
Like I don't even want to look back at this. I'm sure it looks like I'm cracked out, but it's just my ADHD is like on one.
Just missing that dopamine, same diff.
Yeah.
So, now let's take time where we highlight our charities. So, seeing as today is March 1st when we are recording this, March 1st marks the first day of Women's History Month. So we have decided to highlight the charity of the National Women's Law Center. So what the National Women's Law Center does is fight for gender justice in the courts, public policy, and society, and working across issues that are central to lives of women and girls. They really focus on changing culture and driving solutions to the gender inequity that shapes our society, and then to break down the barriers, especially women of color, LGBTQIA plus people, and low-income women of families. It was created in 1972 and has since been on the forefront of all legal changes to empower women, and is hopefully getting us a little bit more rights as certain states are wanting to do away with that. I'm sure they are in for their battle. So you can go to their website, find out how to take action, donate, and kind of help out the charity to get a little bit better laws for women. Anything else to add, Ken?
I dissent.
Yep. That's all for What's a Sitch podcast. Thanks for listening.